Let me ask you this. What do you know about lenses?
Lenses?
They use them in telescopes, binoculars, eyeglasses.
Very little.
Do you know what they do at all?
They,
Have you ever had a magnifying glass?
yeah, they enlarge. I know that they enlarge. They take, they give a...
When you were a kid, did you ever take a magnifying glass in the sun and burn a hole in a piece of paper?
I didn't have a normal childhood,
You
but I
one
knew
can
of
do
it.
that.
I knew of it.
I
knew of it. Yeah.
One can do that.
Yeah.
The
I
sun-
knew of the little trick, but I don't think I've ever tried it directly.
What a lens does, the eye itself is a lens. Naturally, the eye does not always work properly as a lens. So that's why people who wear glasses wear them. The retina is where the image that the eye sees is focused onto. And focusing it means this. All kinds of disparate light waves are going around us all the time. The eye catches this big group of them, and the lens of the eye focuses it down to a single point on the retina.
Mm-hmm.
If your eyes are perfect, it focuses it right on the retina. If your eyes are not perfect, then the focal point, in other words, where all the things come to a very singular point, like a cone coming to its tip.
And by things you mean, again,
Light rays.
Light rays.
They all come to a tip that if that's right on the retina, you have 20/20 vision. If it's too soon, what happens is that focus comes down like this and then starts to spread again after the focal point.
Mm-hmm.
And then it hits the retina here, then you need glasses. And what glasses do is change the focal point of your natural eye's lens to be what's proper, so that the lens focuses the smallest point against the retina.
Mm-hmm. And that's why some people are nearsighted, some people are farsighted.
Because farsighted means that the focal point is beyond the retina. It doesn't come to a point ever on your own retina. It comes not to the point. So that means the focal point is beyond the retina. But it's the same thing. A camera works the same exact way. There's a lens. It gathers light. That's all focused down to, used to be onto the film.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's onto a sensor which captures this. There are different kinds of sensors in digital cameras. But the same process is at work. So when it's out of focus, it's either the focal length is coming to its point away from the sensor, which is like a retina, or past the sensor, it would be there. And both of those are out of focus in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
And it does make for what's nearsighted or farsighted. When you take a play that you're going to produce, and we talked last time, I think, about 60% of that is the director getting ready. We've talked about the director has to be the authority of the play.
Mm-hmm.
More than the author even. He's the authority of the play because he has to know everything intellectually, reasonably, through his reason, in other words, rather than just intuitively how some authors do. Well, in that whole process of taking that play and knowing it, we also talked about at the end, least important but still important, are the lighting, the sound cues, the costumes.
Is that considered the spectacle?
Yeah, all those things that are part of the spectacle in Aristotle's description. So all of those things that are happening have to be focused. onto a single point for the play to work to its optimum. That means the director is the lens. He's the lens. He is the thing that makes everything focus to the actors, what they do, what the play means, the way the lines are read, everything that he's done in his 60% of preparation, plus everything that he does from that point on in casting and what he does in each of the early rehearsals and so forth. Everything that he does has to focus that so that on opening night and throughout the run, that all of those disparate elements are brought into a sharp focus, and that's what lives on the stage. And like with magnifying glass, you have to do like this back and forth to get it to burn that piece of paper. But it will burn paper, and it will kill a bug or whatever else somebody wants to do, or burn a person. If that light is focused to that very small point through the lens. That's what the director is. He's the lens. He brings,
meaning that if it's focused correctly, it will burn.
Yes, sear the tissues and make them smoke or something like that. Well, that's, again, that process, that means the director is the lens. Everything goes through him, and his job is to focus it right onto a particular point.
Mm-hmm. And can we say that point is the theme? That
point is the moment where the theme, where the title, where the names of the characters, where the action of the play, the plot elements, go together with the sound, the music, all the other elements of spectacle, costumes, all of that, set design, all of that. That all comes to a particular point so that everything that is in that moment is exactly what it's supposed to be. And then the audience gets the experience. The audience, most of the time, in almost every play you've ever seen done, I am sure, because it's certainly my experience, and I, being older, have probably seen more over the years, never do you see it at the very focal point, or rarely do you see it at the very focal point. There's 5 million reasons for that. People are miscast, people don't understand what the play's about, people don't do what they're supposed to do in rehearsal periods, or they do things at the wrong time in rehearsal periods and so forth like that bring about bad results. So I did think of this the other day, and I wanted to just make sure that metaphor, that you are the lens that, as the director, that makes this all function properly, was the metaphor that you could get hold of and see how this functions. In this set of circumstances, that's what the director is. He's the lens that all of the elements of the production have to focus through, including, by the way, the kind of music that's played before the show, including what the programs look like, including what the playbills or whatever kind of advertising is done. It's interesting in movie trailers. Sometimes you see a trailer and you go see the movie. It has absolutely nothing to do with a trailer. They have put the trailer together in such a way as to presume on you that it's a certain kind of a movie, and it's not that kind of a movie at all.
But you think it's done purposefully?
Of course, because they've got something that is more serious, for instance. They've got something that's more serious than they think it will pull, so they play the comedic element, and they say, a raucous comedy, and you go see it, and there's 2 laughs in it, and they're...
and you saw those in the trailer.
Yes.
So
right.
You've already seen them.
Right.
Can it be said that every good play has a message, has a theme?
It's about something.
Yeah. Doesn't have to be like, the kind of message where it's sort of, this is what you should do.
Well, it's to give you an experience of life in a way that you are alerted to certain realities that generally on the day-to-day basis people forget or don't deal with. All art is supposed to reveal truth, to remind the human being what it is that the human experience is, so that they can readjust their behavior from time to time.
What it is or what it should be, right?
Well, again, in actuality, there's only is or is not. Reality means something exists, and things which are unreal aren't other things which exist which are unreal. No, they're things which do not exist. So, for instance, when we think it's important to argue with our mother as a child, whether we finish our dinner or not, it seems very important at that moment. And it seems important for the mother that this child, for their nutrition, must finish their meal tonight. And also, they need to learn behavior which is proper in relation to the authority, so that when the authority tells them, then they do it. Both of those people are full of shit. Whether that person eats or not that night is not important, because they'll eat the next night. They ate the night before. So that's the kind of thing that he's saying in our town. Don't get involved in that kind of stuff. So the play or an art object shows you what is real in that moment. And that is, some other thing is more important to the kid at that moment. It's not a horror that's true. And if both people live that moment truthfully and fully, the person will say, actually, you just don't want to eat because you really want to go do something else, right? Yeah, I'm dying. Everybody's playing baseball and they probably started already. Well, I can see that's important to you, so go on and do it. But you know you're supposed to eat your food all the time, don't you? Yeah, I do. All right, go ahead and play. That would be a real moment. That would be somebody aware of life. The parent would be, I'm aware now of what life is, what the experience is, what it is to the child at that moment to be excited to go do something. Let them be excited and go do it. They're going to be full of a life where they have to do shit they hate. Let them have that moment of exciting enjoyment. That's what the author would want you to do. Mm-hmm. But he's not going to tell you that in a lecture because you're not going to do it. But if you experience that moment, the next time you have that kind of a moment as a parent, you think twice.
That's right.
A Little Night Music is based on Smiles of a Summer Night, which was a Bergman film. And in the summer, in the Scandinavian countries, the sun doesn't go down. It stays up 24 hours a day for a short period in the summer. It's very low on the horizon, that's true. But it never gets night. So what does that do? That unnerves everybody. You're not living in the same environment for them. You don't have a night. Night has been taken away from you. And our rhythmic circadian rhythms are set up for
day-night,
day-night, day-night, day-night, day-night. Because that's what we usually experience. Mm-hmm. When you put people in that.
They get thrown off.
It's midnight, but the sun's still up. They're thrown off.
Yeah, right.
And the things of the play.
Jeez, I don't feel like sleeping.
So even if I do feel like sleeping, I can't go to sleep because it's not night. And part of my mind says, "What are you sleeping? It's not night." And the rest of me says, "I'm dead tired. It's midnight already. Shouldn't I be asleep by now?" But how can you go to sleep when the sun's up? So the things that can happen in the play happen
because they're all thrown off the rhythm.
Yes, and all of these people who are matched up with people who really aren't their people end up matched up with the right people.
The musical, A Little Night Music, that's a Sondheim musical. So in that musical, they're not experiencing the setting of the sun?
Exactly. It's the same thing.
Oh. Huh.
The sun goes low, over it goes.
So in that
perpetual sunset is really an unsettling thing. That's what the go down,
so
please.
When they're experiencing night in that musical, there is light. A little night music, it is lit at night.
Yeah. And in that circumstance, a man who's married to a new wife, a wife who's with her husband, who is a philanderer, who now falls in love with her again and wants her. The man is married to this young wife who'd been married for a while. They hadn't consummated himself. He was in love with this actress before he married his first wife, and she's been an actress running around. But now she's older in life, and she wants to have a real relationship and kind of settle down. She's done Sarah Bernhardt routine enough.
That's what that song, Send in the Clowns, is the actress.
Yes, that's what it's talking about.
Yeah.
Here I am, ready to do this, and here you are.
You're not in the same place.
Yeah.
You're now in a different place, and we can't get it together. We can't get the timing right.
Send in the clown. There's a reprise.
Right.
Send in. Applause for the clowns. They're finally here.
Right. We're the clowns,
sings.
Right?
We're the clowns. Applause for the clowns. They're finally here. In other words, the thing that makes it be a circus is that the clowns got to be there. Well, now the clowns are there.
Metaphorically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the two lovers are finally together after all of their lives. And so the reprise of that song is the other side of the coin.
They're finally here.
Yeah,
the clowns have arrived, whereas in the original...
Where are the clowns?
They never arrive in the original.
There ought to be clowns.
Well, maybe next
year.
Yeah.
But in the end, applause for, it's not Where Are the Mouse, applause for the clowns, they're finally here.
Right.
Boom. So now everything has come full circle.
Yeah.
But if it weren't set in that time, and the author didn't put them all in the weekend in the country, where they're all together.
A weekend in the country. Da, 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 da.
If they didn't put them into that, then at that time, it wouldn't happen. Things wouldn't happen. People would be more in control of themselves. They'd be more, in other words, they'd be more their normal social selves.
Now, this is an original screenplay by Bergman, right?
Yeah.
What's the name of the movie?
Smiles of a Summer Night.
Did you ever see the Broadway musical?
Number of times.
Oh.
One of my favorite musicals.
Oh, okay. Did you happen to catch it with the last time around?
Yeah, I did.
Bernadette Peters, or did you see it with the
I saw the original cast with
Michael Douglas's wife?
Yeah.
I saw that production, but with Bernadette, because I didn't see it. I saw it when she took over.
Yeah, I don't know how she was, but Catherine Zeta-Jones was good.
Yeah, good.
She isn't an accomplished singer.
Right.
And early on, the night we saw her early songs were a little weak. But the acting was good.
Oh, wow. A rare occasion that you go to the theater, Bob.
Yeah.
Because you said you don't go anymore. Because you get disappointed.
I love that.
So you had to go see that. And you weren't disappointed.
Well, actually, there were a number of things that were still disappointing. But I love that musical music, and I love what happens in the play.
Yeah.
But still, the directing of it was badly done from the beginning, because you have these 5 people wandering through it all the time. And who the fuck are they? They're nobody. They're singers. No, they're a Greek chorus. And they should function like a Greek chorus. That means we talk directly to the audience. No, they were swirling around, and they're just atmosphere, badly done. You miss all of what they could give you and turn them only into a set piece. And
so they never, I can't remember, I saw the production, but I can't remember that. They never addressed the audience.
No. They don't address each other. They don't address the audience. They don't address the characters.
They're just aimlessly...
something in the atmosphere wandering around.
And they're singing. They don't really speak, do they?
No.
They sing.
Always sing. But they're a Greek chorus. The sun is low. Lower and lower it goes. The perpetual sunset is really an unsettling thing. So watch, you'll see. So what's bad about it is they turned something which would have been a lot of value at different places. A weekend in the country, they're doing all of it. And in the background, the chorus is doing their...
So they're a similar device to what Wilder has in Our Town, speaking to the audience directly.
That's what they should be. It was not directed that way.
Right.
And the director made it done badly, so that they're just nothing.
So they weren't singing to anybody. They were just crossing the stage and singing. So
they're
they were
just
not to each other.
They turned them into a set piece.
So not to each other.
They're not human beings. They're just sound in the background.
I'm crossing the stage now and singing my lines. Goodbye. And so they're not looking at each other. They're not addressing it to the audience. They're not addressing it to...
So who the fuck are they? You're doing a Greek play that has the Furies in it. It has a certain reality. You don't just have people kind of wandering around in the background, swirling around to music, being the Furies. No, the Furies are after those people. These people are not after the people in A Little Night Music. They're commenting
on. Yeah,
they're telling us about
Greek
what they're going through. Yeah. It's totally Greek chorus. Except the director dances them around in the background.
But you're talking about the director of this production you just saw. You're not talking about the original, are you?
No, because the original was like this too.
Oh, it was? And you recall that?
Oh, yeah. I saw the original because...
And they were doing the same thing?
Yeah, exactly. It's just that he made nothing out of something. That's what a director should do. The director should make everything into its own actualized self.
Now, the author, Sondheim, I assume, wrote the music and the lyrics. Well, I don't know who wrote the book.
I don't either.
But the author should have written that with in mind that they are the Greek chorus, right?
He may have.
If unless they're writing intuitively. Again.
He may have, but he probably didn't say this is just like it. They function just like a Greek chorus. Or say that is in the script. It may be. I doubt it, but say that it is. A director who says, oh, yeah, well, a Greek chorus are just people who are on stage and are not one of the characters. And you're assuming what a Greek chorus is wrongly, and so you just have them swirl in and out as if they're as if they are the wind brushing leaves around.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they function. They're like a force of nature swirling in and out and so forth like that. Well, then you don't need people to do that.
A Greek chorus is, in a sense, to inform the audience what the audience should be feeling, right? I mean...
no, it had several functions in Greek theater. One of which, by the way, was to give them a breather.
To give the actors a breather, yeah.
No.
Oh.
To give the audience
a breather from the drama.
The thing is building. I'm about to piss myself.
Yeah.
It's because what the Greek plays are dealing with are very primal.
Heavy.
Primal human experiences.
Right.
And when you believe in those things, you are moved primally. Well, you can't take that. Straightforward, you'll tear your hair out. So what it does is it builds plateaus. That's the structure.
Take a breath here.
And on the plateaus, the chorus comes out and says, yes, we see what Agamemnon has done, and blah, blah, blah. How does that do? How is it when men feel that they are above the gods in Oedipus Rex? They'll talk to you about that. Aren't humans supposed to live in their own venue? Are we the ones who... They don't say, humans aren't supposed to live in their own venue. No, they speak about it. They get you thinking about it.
Thinking, yeah.
So that you're ruminating over what you've seen so far, and you're ready for what's coming next. And you've had that little breath now to take another bite. Because if you took all of the Greek choruses out, it's like opening somebody's mouth and you're going to shove food down it. All they can do is say, well, they're going to throw up.
But they don't sometimes, the Greek chorus doesn't sometimes, it's a terrible thing that just happened.
Of course.
They inform the audience a little bit of a perspective, right?
What they really are doing are underlining what the audience should have gone through. They're bringing to consciousness a little bit of what the experience the audience should have gone through is. Now, since Greek plays that are done so terribly and stupidly and idiotically and nonsensically, the audience hadn't gone through that most of the time. So when the chorus comes out and tell them, it's like new information. But that's not how it should function.
It's like new information. But it shouldn't be.
You should worry because such and such. No, you're already worried. So then, by the way, how that's said is you should worry because of such and such. That chorus is going to share with you the experience that you know you are having. You should worry when. On the page it'll say you should worry when. And since should is an imperative in life. In English, it's an imperative. You should do this. I'm telling you to do. Should carries an imperative.
Meaning you must.
Yes.
You must, yeah.
Right. Since it carries that as an English thing, somebody who doesn't know what is being talked about at that moment has the actor say, oh, you should do this, because the word has a should imperative value just as in its normal meaning. It has that connotation. That's not what it means. And the thing that I'm talking about, that would be the proper reading of that line, would be, oh yes, you should worry because
you're already worried about it. You should.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, you should be
as
worried.
Opposed to you should. Yeah.
I recognize that you're worried. I'm worried too because of the things that have happened in this house when Agamemnon has been gone have been so horrific.
So
I can't even tell you what to worry. If you don't know, I can't tell you. It's too bad. I don't want you to throw up right in front of me.
So the other one, you should, is telling you what to do, but if I say, you should feel that way, I'm
sharing what we should both have experienced from having seen the prior.
And I'm understanding that you're already experiencing.
Now, that's a whole different thing than just people swirling around the stage and singing some songs. You just get people swirling around in a little night music singing songs. Who the fuck are they? What are they there for?
Whereas if they would come out and sing to the audience.
No, not just sing to them, but present it to them. You go see tonight, you go see the Fantastics. I can guarantee you the guy playing El Gallo is starting the play. That's all he's doing. Try to remember the kind of September. I'm singing the first song in tonight's musical. So, no. That's an invocation for you to come along with the play. Try to remember. Because we're going to show you that. And I want you to be reverberating from those memories of yourself when you were a tender and callow fellow. Try to remember, and, the lyric, if you remember,
then follow.
Then follow. I want you to remember first, else you don't know what the fuck we're talking about. But if you remember, follow me, follow us, follow what we're doing. You'll be able to follow if you remember. If you sit there in your old curmudgeon life, you could be 20 and be living in an old curmudgeon life. If you're sitting there in an old curmudgeon life, then you won't get this play. So don't follow. Go get your money back. But if you do, try to remember. And if you remember, then follow. He says, this begins with Glenn. You know, when the love song they're going to sing later. It begins with the season which, for want of a better word, we might as well call September. It begins in a forest where woodchucks blew and leaves wax green, and vines entwined like lovers. How do you see it? Not with your eyes, for they're wise, but see it with your ears, the soundless sounds, the shadows flicking light. Celebrate sensation. Recall that secret place, that one place where once, just once, in your crowded, entire sunlit lifetime, you hid away in shadows from the tyrannies of time. That spot beside the clover where someone's hand held your hand and love was sweeter than the cherries or the honey or the stinging taste of mint. It's September before rainfall. A perfect time to fall in love. Soft for two lovers. Hear how the wind begins to he's pulling you to, he's taking you where he wants to go. That's how those people should function in that play. They don't. They just go around and sing and stay out of the way of the actors. Don't bump into the actors, please.
So there's no real connection with the audience as there needs to be.